Good afternoon and welcome to the Daily Community Briefing on WBON TV, Channel 9. In our lead story of the day, police are investigating a murder-suicide that occurred on US 27 in Stanford. Police report that about 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning, Kentucky State Police were notified that 65-year-old Thomas Hungerford allegedly forcibly kidnapped 53-year-old Tammy Beecham. Troopers spotted the vehicle in question on US 27 in Lancaster, and after a brief pursuit, the car stopped near Stanford. When troopers approached the vehicle, they found both Beecham and Hungerfield dead inside that vehicle. The deaths appear to be the result of a murder-suicide, according to police. We'll follow that story as information becomes available. Well, the northbound lanes of I-75 were blocked for hours late Wednesday night at the 97-mile marker after a semi overturned. The vehicle's trailer snagged the wall and flipped the cab over and over across the bridge. Witnesses report the driver escaped uninjured and was extremely lucky that the cab didn't flip over the barrier and end up in the Kentucky River far below. According to reports, traffic was snarled well into the early morning hours of Thursday as the wreck was coupled with the continual lane closures for bridge deck work on the Clays Ferry Bridge. Well, Estill County school bells won't be ringing until next week due to COVID. In a statement from the Estill County Board of Education issued Wednesday, this week we have seen an increased number of students and staff who tested positive for COVID-19 and are in quarantine. With this being the case, we feel it is important that we make a pause for in-person learning. Thursday, September 23rd will be a staff work day. This means there will be no school for students. Staff must report. This day will not have to be made up. On Friday, September 24th, there will be no school for students and staff. Staff with 261-day contracts must report to work. This day will need to be made up at the end of the school year. Our Estill County staff has worked diligently to keep our students safe and attending in-person learning. However, we do not have enough staff to cover our bus routes for the next 2 days. We will take this opportunity to deep clean our buildings and buses in order to reduce these cases. We need our parents and guardians to pause activities at home that could potentially cause the spread of the virus. If children are off from school but still continue to participate in activities with other students, we will not get any of the results that we need. The only way we can defeat the virus is to practice safe habits and be considerate of others. Please wear a face covering, practice social distancing, and consider getting a vaccination if you haven't already done so. Our goal is for our students to learn in person and be able to participate in extracurricular activities, but we need everyone's help to make this happen. We must all do our part to win this battle. That was from the Estill County Board of Education. Well, Governor Andy Beshear said Kentucky administered more than 5,000 monoclonal antibody treatment courses last week, but the state will only receive 4,960 courses this week due to a national shortage. There will be allocated to 79 sites around Kentucky based on backorder requests, current inventory, and previous week utilization. We will have at least one monoclonal antibody treatment provided in each of our area development districts, but there's not going to be enough anywhere, said Governor Beshear. If you're putting off a vaccine to have the infusion, let me tell you, an infusion is much more invasive, and there's not going to be enough for those anywhere in the Commonwealth, so get vaccinated. The governor said 8,750 COVID-19 cases and 88 COVID-19 deaths were reported in Kentucky since Friday. 3 of the Kentuckians who died were in their early 20s. Well, as COVID cases continue to climb, so do occupied ICU beds. WBON TV spoke to Chief Medical Officer for Baptist Health Richmond, Dr. Erica Gregonis, to get a pulse on the situation in the hospital, as well as the COVID procedures in place while other ICU patients still need care. With that story, here's Marissa Hempel.
We actually just received some information this week from the health department that COVID cases, which obviously we think include the Delta variant, are soaring. And I'm sure the hospital is feeling these woes. So tell us what the situation is at Baptist Health Richmond, Dr. Gregonis.
Sure. We obviously have a higher census and have seen more COVID patients in the last week than we ever have since this pandemic started. Currently, today, we have 37 patients admitted with COVID. 35 of those are unvaccinated. We have 7 patients in the ICU with COVID. None of those are vaccinated patients. We're no longer operating as normal. When I say as normal, we've had to say, wait a minute, we have to go to different areas of the hospital and utilize those spaces to help take care of everybody. Because it's not just COVID patients. We still have other patients that we are taking care of as well. We have just as many non-COVID patients as we have COVID patients, but we also have to have space to be able to separate them, to keep everyone safe. So we're having to use areas in surgery. We're having to use areas in different parts of the hospital to take care of all of these patients.
Would you say the situation is dire?
I say the situation is getting very close to being dire. We're using all the spaces that we can. There are a few spaces left, but the other question is, how do we make sure we have enough nursing staff and physicians to take care of it? We're getting to the point that, and it's not just us, when I say us, as far as nurses and physicians, it's respiratory therapists to be able to help take care of these patients. It's enough patients in EVS, environmental services, to help us keep everything clean. It's, dietary, enough people to make meals to help take care of these patients. We are definitely being stretched very, very thin, and we're doing everything we can to help take care of patients. But I think the community does need to know how stressful it is in a facility at this point.
What is your best advice for people who still might be on the fence about getting vaccinated? I mean, you said the stats yourself. Some people, however, still say, oh, well, vaccinated people are still in the hospital. But there is a difference, correct?
There is a big difference. Patients that are vaccinated are much less likely to make it to the hospital and require hospitalization. They're much less likely, if they get here, to have a severe case. They're much less likely to end up in the ICU, and even less likely to end up on a ventilator. So there are benefits to being vaccinated. I tell people to think about the COVID vaccine now like we did the flu shot. And the fact that I can't guarantee you're not going to get COVID. Nothing's 100% at this point. However, if you do get it, you're going to be much less likely to have a severe case and much less severe symptoms. Those patients that do come into the hospital and get admitted, often it's not a short hospital course. This is not something people come in for a day or two and they're gone. I don't think people realize that. Patients may be in the hospital for weeks. It all depends. It all depends on patients and their bodies and how they react to this virus.
I think people kind of forget that the nurses and doctors are humans as well, and they're struggling just as much. So what would be the one thing you would say for those that may not really understand what you all are going through on the front lines of this pandemic?
Everyone is stretched thin. Mentally and emotionally, it's hard. I mean, it's hard because you're coming in every day and you develop a rapport with these patients because they may be here for a while. And I think the unpredictability of this disease is very difficult. I think it's difficult because you may have a patient that you really think you're making such headway with, and they're going to be able to go home. And then 24 hours later, may be a very different situation. I think that's hard for us to deal with. I think it's also hard because there's not a lot of treatment. There is not a lot of treatment out there once you contract COVID that really works. We've shown that steroids decrease mortality a little bit. There are other things that we're using, remdesivir. There's, the monoclonal antibodies. That's before you get to the hospital. In the hospital, like I said, remdesivir, Actemra, those are things that have been used under emergency use. But once again, the data is not great. It's not like these are miracle drugs that are going to turn it around like that. So I think there's a feeling sometimes of hopelessness and uselessness, meaning we want to do something, we want to fix it, and knowing that despite everything that we do, we may not be able to change the course for this patient. We're seeing younger patients. They're closer to my age. There's patients younger than me with this that I'm seeing very sick. I think that's very hard because you identify with them. They have children the same age as your children. I think that's a lot harder to deal with. It's hard too because I feel like we've been very honest with the public and very upfront. And of course, we're going to ask people to get vaccinated because we know how much of a difference it makes. I've said it time and time again. I've taken care of a ton of patients with COVID. I've never taken care of anyone in the hospital with a reaction to the vaccine or a side effect from the vaccine. So It's hard. It's hard because we know what will help prevent patients from getting admitted to the hospital, and not everybody's doing that.
Thanks, Marissa, for that story. And with that, we're going to go to our first break of the day. Don't go anywhere. We've got news and COVID numbers right here on WBON Channel 9 after this break. Thanks.
Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. From our attention to detail, a diverse staff, and the best aftercare in the business, there's no better local choice to take care of your family in a difficult time than Davis & Powell. Call in to discuss pre-planning and preparations so there'll be no additional burden on your family. Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. For additional information, check them out at davisandpowellfuneralhome.com. Davis & Powell Funeral Home, always going the extra mile.
The mission at H2 Health is to create a healthcare environment where their employees and clients love to be. They offer a wide range of services including physical therapy, occupational therapy, a chronic pain program, wellness and fitness programs, dry needling, and more. H2 Health is here to get you back in the game and feeling your best with locations in Richmond, Berea, and more. Visit h2health.com to learn more and get started today at H2 Health.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
You're watching WBON TV Channel 9's live, local, and daily news briefing, brought to you by Bishop's Small Engine Repair, Affordable Heating and Air, Bluegrass Marble and Granite, Davis & Powell Funeral Home, Whitaker Bank. The daily news briefing is also brought to you by these great local sponsors.
Donate or shop at the new location for the Habitat Restore in Madison County. The proceeds from the Habitat Restore go towards helping build a home for someone in need. Shop, donate, or volunteer at the new location for the Habitat Restore in the old CVS Pharmacy building on Main Street in Richmond.
You know when you step outside and it feels absolutely perfect? The air's not too warm, not too cool, just perfection? Now imagine if you could have that same feeling inside your home at a price that feels even better. You can, thanks to the folks at Affordable Heating and Air. Call 859-779-0122 now and get the best Lennox home comfort systems at a price you'll love. That's Affordable Heating and Air at 859-779-0122 or online at affordableheating-air.com.
When I started to experience the world from practicing law, it showed me that there's a lot of injustice that can be corrected. We're called personal injury attorneys, but I'm not there for the injury, I'm there for the recovery. And that's what we try to do. We try to help people recover after they've been hurt. If the big firms are going to drop you as soon as your claim entails some kind of work, some kind of additional effort, why not just come to someone who's going to put the work in the first place?
Support your favorite team with apparel from Campus Warehouse in Richmond. Whether you're an EKU fan or you're a part of the Big Blue Nation, Campus Warehouse has something for you. Stop by and see their new line of Old Road t-shirts, because guys, we know Saturdays are for the boys. Plus, they have the cutest seasonal tees for the ladies. And Campus Warehouse now carries a new line of tees for the kiddos as well. Visit campuswarehouserichmond.com or stop by their location in the Richmond Center next to Buffalo Wild Wings.
The Old West, the way you remember it. Good guys and bad guys.
Come and join us as we watch and talk about the best of the West.
Western movies, TV shows, and more.
Draw Western Theater, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Here on Richmond's very own Channel 9.
Welcome back to the Daily Community Briefing on WBON Channel 9. I'm Gwendolyn Morton. Well, recently, Habitat for Humanity of Madison and Clark counties received a $10,000 gift from the Berea-based aluminum manufacturer Novellus Company. A portion of the money will will go towards expanding the Habitat's recycling program, and the rest of the funds will help maintain current houses and place more houses throughout the community. In addition, Novellus is allowing a portion of their gift to help build a home on Lincoln Street in Winchester. The home is one of 5 upcoming Habitat for Humanity homes that will be built on Winchester Street. Good news there. Well, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has provided an update for the I-75 northbound lane closures on Clays Ferry Bridge. The temporary lane closures continue to be necessary for bridge deck overlay work. The anticipated date for the project of the completed is Thursday, October the 7th. The Clays Ferry Bridge is located on the Fayette-Madison County line. In a couple of notes here, operations are located between mile point 97.541 and 97.703. Traffic closures barrels are in place between mile points 96.9 and 98.3. 2 lanes remain open at all times. This includes shifts onto the shoulder. Work is in effect 24 hours a day, including weekends, with 2 separate shifts of crews, 6 a.m. to midnight and then midnight to 6 a.m. The speed limit is reduced to 55 miles per hour with double fines in effect. Motorists will be diverted to the left lane starting today and tomorrow. The traffic switch will occur Friday and Saturday evening if there is inclement weather for today. Alternate route motorists can utilize Interstate 64 to Kentucky 627 to bypass the work zone. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says that the traveling public should continue to plan and expect for delays in that area. There's been quite the delay on that area today. If you're planning on traveling to Lexington this afternoon out of Madison County, make sure you check those traffic guides before you go. Well, as it is now in the thick of competition season, the Madison Central Band has many events and opportunities coming up to see them perform. On the tail of winning awards competitions this weekend, there are some options ahead to support the band this weekend and upcoming in partnership with EKU football. With the story, news director Marissa Hempel spoke to band fundraising chair Cassie Bradley.
You may have caught an earlier interview this week regarding the Madison Central Band and the recent awards they achieved over the weekend during competition. If you want to keep the momentum going, Cassie Bradley, fundraising chair for the band, says there's more events coming up to help support them.
We'll take another stab at movie night. The last one that we had got rained out. Some pretty bad thunderstorms in the area, and they would not set up the audiovisual equipment in the threats of thunderstorms damaging the electrical components. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. It will also be on Purple Lot, and it'll be like a drive-in movie night. We'll have a big screen set up. We're going to have popcorn. I've invited several food trucks to come out. People can bring chairs and blankets, whatever they want to do to have fun. And last year, as I mentioned to you earlier, it was just due to COVID restrictions, just for the band. However, this year, we have enough space out there. We were able to separate from each other and put some distance between us, and we've opened it up to the community. So we would love to have the community come out that's so supportive of us and join us and hang out with us for an evening watching a movie with the band kids and the band families.
If you are unable to attend the event, Braley says there are other opportunities to help support the band through volunteering.
We've always got those opportunities to work the EKU home football games. We actually had one this weekend. It was quite a busy weekend with doing competition and staffing the EKU concessions. So we have some of that coming up this weekend. We have several other, any home football game. We ask that people volunteer because we get paid based on the number of volunteers that we have, and they do not have to be a band parent. They can be a community member. The only requirement is that they have to be at least 16 years old, and so they can reach out to me, and I can get information. We do have to go through a check with EKU concessions, but anyone is welcome to help, and that's also a fun way to come hang out with the band and support us, and also with EKU. So we're all wrapped up in the community, the EKU community and the marching band community, and so we would love to have people come out and help us with that as well.
If you're interested in getting involved, Bradley says to ping her cell phone.
Probably the best way to reach me is through my cell phone, which is 859-893-8606.
Stay tuned right here to your Wallingford broadcasting stations to keep tuned in to all local events and happenings. For Channel 9 News, I'm Marissa Hempel.
Thanks, Marissa, for that story. Well, Governor Andy Beshear congratulated Kinetic Mesh Wireless Networks provider Regent Corp as leaders cut the ribbon of the company's new Rowan County facility, a project that will create 100 full-time jobs over the coming years with a $2 million investment. As part of the company's growth in Rowan County, Regent in 2020 announced its move from a 9,600 square foot facility on Main Street to a nearby 48,000 square foot manufacturing space on nearly 14 acres in the MMRC Industrial Park. Originally announced as a 26-job project, company leaders now expect to create 100 jobs in the years ahead at the new Moorhead facility. The move positions the company to increase production of products and services with further capabilities, including artificial intelligence, while also improving its commercial and military product lines. By meeting its annual targets over the agreement term, the company can be eligible to keep a portion of the new tax revenue it generates. The company may claim eligible incentives against its income tax liability and or wage assessments. In addition, Regent can receive resources from the Kentucky Skills Network. Through the Kentucky Skills Network, companies can receive no-cost recruitment and job placement services, reduced cost customized training, and job training incentives. Lots of good news there for Rowan County. And we've got a note from Madison Southern Athletics. You are invited to join with them at Logan's. That's going to be today from 5 to 8. You can present a flyer for to-go orders, or you can use the code GIVEBACK to receive a 15% discount. That 15%, is going to, of your total check will be donated to Madison Southern Athletics. Again, that's Logan's Roadhouse. In a effort with Madison Southern Athletics, they're going to be donating 15% of your bill today. Use the code GIVEBACK from 5 till 8 p.m. today, this afternoon. And with that, we're going to go to our second break of the day. We've got lots of COVID information coming for you in this next segment. We'll see you soon.
Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. From our attention to detail, a diverse staff, and the best aftercare in the business, there's no better local choice to take care of your family in a difficult time than Davis & Powell. Call in to discuss pre-planning and preparations so there'll be no additional burden on your family. Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. For additional information, check them out at davisandpowellfuneralhome.com. Davis & Powell Funeral Home, always going the extra mile.
The mission at H2 Health is to create a healthcare environment where their employees and clients love to be. They offer a wide range of services, including physical therapy, occupational therapy, a chronic pain program, wellness and fitness programs, dry needling, and more. H2 Health is here to get you back in the game and feeling your best with locations in Richmond, Berea, and more. Visit h2health.com to learn more and get started today at H2 Health.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
You're watching WBON TV Channel 9's live, local, and daily news briefing, brought to you by Bishop's Small Engine Repair, Affordable Heating and Air, Bluegrass Marble and Granite, Davis & Powell Funeral Home, Whitaker Bank. The daily news briefing is also brought to you by these great local sponsors.
Donate or shop at the new location for the Habitat Restore in Madison County. The proceeds from the Habitat Restore go towards helping build a home for someone in need. Shop, donate, or volunteer at the new location for the Habitat Restore in the old CVS Pharmacy building on Main Street in Richmond.
You know when you step outside and it feels absolutely perfect? The air's not too warm, not too cool, just perfection? Now imagine if you could have that same feeling inside your home at a price that feels even better. You can, thanks to the folks at Affordable Heating and Air. Call 859-779-0122 now and get the best Lennox home comfort systems at a price you'll love. That's Affordable Heating and Air at 859-779-0122 or online at affordableheating-air.com.
When I started to experience the world from practicing law, it showed me that there's a lot of injustice that can be corrected We're called personal injury attorneys, but I'm not there for the injury. I'm there for the recovery. And that's what we try to do. We try to help people recover after they've been hurt. If the big firms are going to drop you as soon as your claim entails some kind of work, some kind of additional effort, why not just come to someone who's going to put the work in the first place?
Support your favorite team with apparel from Campus Warehouse in Richmond. Whether you're an EKU fan or you're a part of the Big Blue Nation, Campus Warehouse has something for you. Stop by and see their new line of Old Road t-shirts, because guys, we know Saturdays are for the boys. Plus they have the cutest seasonal tees for the ladies. And Campus Warehouse now carries the new line of tees for the kiddos as well. Visit campuswarehouserichmond.com or stop by their location in the Richmond Center next to Buffalo Wild Wings.
The Old West, the way you remember it. Good guys and bad guys.
Come and join us as we watch and talk about the best of the West.
Western movies, TV shows, and more.
Draw Western Theaters, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Here on Richmond's very own Channel 9.
Welcome back to the Daily Community Briefing on WBON Channel 9. I'm Gwendolyn Morton. We're going to go ahead and get right on into the COVID numbers from around the state for the past 24 hours. When we left yesterday, we had 3 counties that were not in the red. Clinton County down on the southern border was at 9.8. They stay in the yellow today. They've actually decreased even a little bit more. They're at 7 today. We also had Livingston yesterday. That has actually gone red over the last 24 hours. They went from 18.6 yesterday to 32.6 today. Carlisle was orange yesterday. They stay orange today from 18 to 24, up just a little bit. Fulton County was red yesterday, but they have gone orange. They are now at 23.9, just barely under that threshold. Yesterday, they were just barely on the other side of it at 26.3. Taking a look for the hot spots around the state for today, Rockcastle 190, Whitley County 189, Harlan County 189. Those seem to be the biggest numbers that we have throughout the state. Other notable numbers, Wolfe County at 149, Owsley 126, Clay 111, Perry County 139. If you remember, Perry County at one point was the highest numbers in the country, not just Kentucky. Leslie County 173, Knox County 151. Around Madison County, Central Kentucky, Fayette County continues to keep their numbers down, 58.7. They're still in the red, but they are doing better there. Clark County, 79.6. Montgomery, 52. Powell, 163. And Powell, Estill, 107.4. They have actually dismissed school for the remainder of the week, if you'll remember, because of their no COVID numbers there. Jackson County, 127. Rockcastle, 190. Lincoln County, 75. Garrett County 94, Jessamine 110. I believe that's up since yesterday, just barely. Jessamine County up just a little bit there. And then over in the western part of the state, they have been doing well, keeping their numbers down. Livingston 32, Crittenden 38, Caldwell 67, Lyon 36, Trigg 61, Marshall 45, Callaway 36. Madison County numbers for today. Yesterday we left with 117, down just a little bit to 111 today. Overall current incidence rate for the entire state of Kentucky down again, 75.74 to 73.89. Red zone reduction recommendations from the health department increase vaccination efforts to reach unvaccinated persons, encourage maskings as an effective way to reduce the spread, encourage physical distancing, and maximize use of outdoor space for gatherings, encourage medically vulnerable persons to avoid social activities with unvaccinated persons, consider postponing large public events, engage community partners and stakeholders to implement a strong community plan. And with that, that's the end of another daily community briefing. We'll be right back here tomorrow for our Friday edition at 3 p.m. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.